Have you ever had a day where you just cannot get your work done and being productive is not in your mindset? I have too. Hi, I'm Logan, and today I'm going to be talking about why a 9 to 5 hour work day is just not ideal anymore. My 3 points is, are we really going to work? We're not machines. And lastly, 9 to 5 is just not an easy way of life anymore. So first, are we really going to work? Having this, put in that time card, just having to get there at a certain time and leave, is it really necessary? Having to leave early for work and just having to deal with the morning traffic, it's just such a pain. Actually, from a successful entrepreneur, he published on TNW in 2013 on traditional work hours are a myth. They said, why do you want them thinking about how many hours they clock in instead of meeting goals? It's just, why would you, point proven, why do you want your employees to worry about how many hours they put in a week instead of worrying about getting what they need to get done and their goals? So getting to work is not easy for everyone, as I was kind of saying before. Just having to drive there and the commute sometimes a pain, especially if you have to drive in the metro. It's just not ideal because you have to get up extremely early to beat rush hour traffic. So, but if more people decide to do remote, it would be a lot easier for the rush hour traffic as it was earlier this last year. According to Marketplace.org, written by Jance Kaperkevic, on if people work 9 to 5 anymore, and back in 2018, research done in 2016 found that people were willing to take an 8% cut in pay to work from home. So people are actually willing to cut their paycheck a little bit just so they can work from home and don't have to make the commute. So in the office, are we really expect to work 8 hours straight just for that long? Which that is also why the biggest thing too is that we're not machines. We cannot work for that just that straight long. Being productive for that long, it's just not ideal as for humans to do. Actually, from an article from the Tribune Content Agency in 2020, it was published by the Fast Company. So that's the business magazine guys that make all the big article or magazines in America about business. They're really famous. They said actually that almost no one is working for 8 hours a day. And of course that goes to all the big companies and everything with their research. It's just proven that people cannot work 8 hours straight in a day. It's just not realistic. Even with your lunch break, you're just not productive at all. So the quality of work just goes down a lot. So, which is why it's so hard for people to focus. So, actually, according to Business Insider's written by an award-winning author, Travis Bradway, about handling work for so long and needing to take a break, in his article it said, an ideal work to break ratio was 52 minutes of work and 17 minutes of rest, which a lot of big companies, if they were to hear that, that would not fly. Just the fact that you would only work for not even an hour and that you need a 17-minute break, they would not let that fly at all, sadly. But companies also sometimes forget the fact is that employees take more to them serious is their health and their family. So, which is by the time the companies will see that, will be when the revenues and everything just starts to dip when they give the option of being able to work remote versus having to come in the office. So, and then just that's coming back to my third and final point. A 9 to 5 is just not easy anymore for everyone to work. So, especially this last whole year with COVID, parents having to help their kids with distance learning and taking a little bit of time out of their day to get that situated for them so they could succeed in school, because parents will prioritize their kids and family over work sometimes. It's just hard for them to then jump right back into work and get working on again. That's why there should be a little bit more flexibility for them to be able to do it at night if they are allowed to. So, and of course, if they're working from home at that point, they'll save money and time. So, just this past year, because of COVID, they've had, I found this little blog article from clicktime.com that does a really good job of showing advantages of working from home. And obviously, it's kind of the basic ones, but the key ones, especially flexible schedule. They can work when they feel like they really can get something done. There's no office distraction. The commute, it's very little, obviously, because they're at home. So, and then it's also a big thing I would also have to point out is that it knocks off the weekends to do's. It gives the employees a little bit more satisfaction that they can get other stuff done besides work in the day as well. So, in conclusion, we know our limits. We each know that each person is different in how they work and how they get stuff done. So, we all work different. So, from a life hack article written by Tukia Tank, CEO of Jotform, that's why, or his quote was, "That's why one CEO allows his employees to pick between 4 10-hour days or 5 8-hour days, and why many companies are following suit." So just being able to give more options for the employees is really a key thing, as it just gives them more of the flexibility and the more relief that they have more options instead of having to work just the straight 8 to 5-hour days. Because heck, even working the 10-hour days, yes, it's a long time, and they might not, they can, if they can handle it and get their stuff done, awesome, because then they have a 3-day weekend. So, and a lot of people actually would really enjoy doing that. So in the end, so when you're asked about when you're being hired, what kind of work lifestyle that you want to do, are you going to pick the long hours? Or are you going to pick a more shorter hours, but getting more stuff done and being more productive? So, thank you.